Hey guys, it's my friend Joel, part of Team Afterlife. He's going to show you his Gravekeeper deck.
Alright, so start off with 3 Spy. It's the best card in the deck. It's actually been splashed in a lot of other decks because it gives you multiple 2000 walls, which are really good. 3 Recruiter. Recruiter's great in the deck. He pluses a lot with Ascendant, and a lot of people just attack into it thinking it's a Spy, and you'll just get your Necro Valley out by getting this guy off Recruiter. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what he does. He pitches for Necro Valley. I run 3 Descendant. A lot of people only run 2. I run 3 because even if there's no Gravekeeper to tribute for his effect, he's either a 1500 attacker or 2000 with Necro Valley. Guard, he's an extra Compulse with 2400 under Necro Valley, which is really good. Gravekeeper's a silent. Every big monster has low defense in this game right now that's prominent. He puts them into defense. And then 1 Malefic Stardust. I don't run 2. I feel 2 is too cloggy. Spells, 3 Necros, Negro Valleys. Card's really broken, I think. Still stops Monster Reborn, and it stops Pot of Avarice. 2 Pot of Duality, obvious. I only play 1 Tribute because I'm terrified of the Dark World matchup. There are people here that play Dark World, and if you Royal Tribute a Dark World hand, which is 2 Dark Worlds, you're giving your opponent insane advantage, and it's not worth it. 1 Wonder Wand. With Recruiter, you draw 2, and then you search, or with any other Gravekeeper, it's an extra 500 attack, which is just really good. 2 Stell. You run out of resources fast, this gets you them back. Mind Control, Storm, Dark Hole, 2 MST, and 1 book. Staple lineup for this.
Explain Mind Control to me. Why are you using that?
Mind Control because a lot of decks run level 4s, and this entire deck's core is level 4 minus Recruiter. So you use Mind Control, and you could take a level 4, attack with whatever Gravekeeper you wish, and then exceed into it, because Gravekeepers have a hard time getting around monsters, and this, especially without Necro Valley. This also open, if you're just about to push for game and your opponent has a monster, say like Machina Fortress, you can just take this and swing for game. I like Mind Control. I've been putting it in every deck, and it's been helping a lot.
Okay.
It's mainly for the exceeding thing. 1 Judgment, 1 Warning. I know this isn't the new ban list yet, but I only run 1 Warning because you already take enough life as it is with Judgment, and the deck gets hit a lot, and you don't want to lose all that life. 2 Bottomless, 1 Depriz. I've been wanting to bump this up to 2, but there's not enough space in the deck. I think 1 is fine. Most of the time you want your opponent to attack into you, so you can get your Spy effect. 2 Compulse. This deck basically has 3. I like it. This protects your monsters or stops your opponent. 1 Road. I've been thinking about putting in Huge Rev over this because Huge Rev stops Fire Kings flat, and Road is counterable easier than Rev. Rev also stops the Scrap Dragon, and then Red Spirit. This is basically a Monster Reborn for Gravekeepers. It's unaffected by Necro Valley, and it's just a great card. I see a lot of people not run Red Spirit. That's the main deck. The extra deck is pretty simple. It's all rank 4s, so any rank 4. I'll just show off a few. Like Pap, This Dweller, Mystroke, Roach, Utopia, Shockmaster. You can run any rank 4s, any multiples. You're not really going to run rank 3s because your Recruiter won't get this effect, but you could put in a Levier, but it's mainly just whatever rank 4s. I usually just run multiples of these guys because there aren't good rank 4s right now, really. And Zenmeister. Zenmeister is really good in this deck. It's the same thing with Evols. If you can get your opponent to attack into your Spy, so he hasn't changed position this turn. You set Spy, then you flip it through his effect, you get another Gravekeeper. So we're just going to say Recruiter. Then you can normal summon the Descendant, pop 2, and get in for 42 to 37. So this actually has some form of a loop. It's a lot harder to pull off, and it's a lot weaker than other deck loops, but it's still a good enough loop. I know I'm not the first one to really think of this, but I like it. It's a good loop, and it's viable. This guy's also pretty nice. 2200 attack, 2500 attack. It's nice. This deck doesn't have any beat sticks, so it's good for it.
Okay, sweet. So how do you feel that deck's Rabbit matchup is?
Rabbit matchup? This deck loses really hard to Rabbit, mainly because you can't send Commandant to the grave to get Necro Valley. He's forced to go to the grave. So, and your opponent's not really touching your graveyard anyway because of macro. So this deck loses really hard to the top tier decks right now. It actually has a good wind-up matchup. It has a good enough Mermail matchup if you open up with the Roller Trigger. It loses automatically to Dark Portal and Machina. There's no hope for it.
Fire Fist.
Fire Fist actually lose to this somewhat because despite them flipping over like Horn or Tenkin, they're still going to have a hard time getting over Spy otherwise, or Recruiter or Guard. And this is a very protective deck, and a lot of the Fire Fists right now are mainly just using lands, they're not using Tenkin, which is a card I like a lot in Fire Fists, but this deck does pretty good against Fire Fists. It has a good game 1 to them, but they lose game 2 because they can decide Dimensional Fissure and I can't get Commandant to use his effect, so, or Recruiter, so this has an okay matchup against Fire Fist. Fire King, same thing.
Sweet. Would you recommend people building Gravekeeper, or?
With the current format, no. Next format, no. The deck's not fast enough. It doesn't have spammable cards outside of Zenmeister. It loses really fast to decks that run Defish or Macro. Your best bet is just opening Necro Valley Royal Tribute for 90% of the matchups. But it's just a really fun deck. It's a stall-based deck. And your opponent will run out of resources before you do 90% of the time. Mainly because they don't have access to their graveyard.
It was also really good before more mails came out. It topped a few regionals, YCSs, etc., etc. It's a good deck, just not right now.
It's a terrific deck, and I was hoping with this new ban list they would rise a little bit, but unfortunately they won't. But it's still a really fun deck. Outside of Macro and Deep Fish, nothing really hurts it. So
there we go. It's Joel with his Gravekeeper deck. Please comment and subscribe.
Stutter.
Stutter.